Alright, what's up everybody? Got another car chronicle, and this time I'm talking about preventive maintenance. And sorry about the hood, it's like 39 degrees in Memphis. What I'm talking about today, basically I took my wife's car to get serviced yesterday. I had to take my car to get it serviced today. Had to have a battery replaced and had to have the brake pads replaced. Now, when you have a car and you're talking brake pads, the components that make up a braking system, obviously you have your brake fluid inside of your reservoir, and then you have the lines, and it goes out to the brakes, to the actuators, and it presses, all of these things combine to press the brake pad onto a rotor. Now, I know you don't care about that, so let me get to what I'm trying to talk about. So I had the opportunity to tell the guys at the dealership, nah, you know what, I'll wait on the brakes. But then I thought about it, and I realized that, you know what, this is another opportunity for me to talk about business. I'll do it when I get in the car. So I had this fit of inspiration, but I told the guy, go ahead and replace the brakes, right? Now, this is the reason I related it to business. Sometimes you'll have an opportunity in business, right? And you can pay for something in advance. And what you're doing is paying for it to possibly prevent a situation from occurring later on. The natural inclination of every person who's in business is try to save as much money as possible. And this happens in our daily lives as well. So we'll say, no, I'm not going to pay for that right now if I don't have to pay for it. But the thing about preventive maintenance is, in order for you to reach the level that you want to reach, or to attain the things that you want to get out of a business or out of life, is you're going to have to put some money into an idea, or you're going to have to replace the brake pads in order to prevent a problem later on. So if I would have told the dealership, nah, you know what, I'm going to wait, the brakes would have gotten thinner, and they may have scored or dug into the rotor. Now, the rotor is the big flat disc. A lot of the times you talk to people and they think that the brake is the big shiny part that you can see through the wheels. That's your rotor. The rotor can be machined, and you can literally drive your car the whole time you own it for hundreds of thousands of miles before you ever have to replace a rotor if you get preventive maintenance, which means that if your brakes start to squeal, you hear the wear sensor, then you can have the brakes replaced. If I had not replaced the brake pads today and they scored or they dug into the rotor costs $500. To replace the brake pads is only $125. So I could have saved $125 today, but who knows, a few months from now I could have ended up paying out $500 because the rotors were damaged. And if you change one rotor, you have to change the other rotor because it'll create an imbalance in braking. So you can just change one rotor. I'm not saying that you have to do it, but in business, if you have an opportunity to pay for preventive maintenance or pay for something when you don't have to, and it's going to help you down the line, go ahead and do it. In life, think of everything you do as preventive maintenance. If you can prevent a situation from getting out of hand by saying I'm sorry, then say I'm sorry. Don't hold a grudge, because holding a grudge is similar to having to replace a rotor. You could end up paying a lot more for holding a grudge than if you had simply said I'm sorry. Think of it as replacing your brakes. But that's it. I don't have a whole lot to talk about right now. That just hit me when I was in the dealership. I was like, man, you know what? I can save $125, $150. But why do that when in the long run it could cost me a lot more? That's it for today's, I guess I call them car chronicles. And I'll see you guys on the flip side. That's it. I'll wrap with you later. Peace.